Well, hi there, everybody. You're traveling with Jack, and as I always say, and the apron says, my heavenly wife, Pam. Guess what we're making today? It's a squash casserole. I know, maybe you're saying, I don't really like squash. I'm not a big fan of just having some steamed squash, but when you do this upright, it's good. So let's talk about our ingredients. First of all, we get a nice sized squash and we slice it up. Nice slices, nice even little slices. Then we're going to take about, a good sized onion, say a medium sweet onion, and we're going to chop it up as well. We're then going to put that together in a steamer, and we're going to steam it for about, 5-10 minutes until it gets just a little bit tender. Now, our spinach and our onions are just about done steaming over here. Now we've got to make our mixture that we're going to be adding our squash and onions to, okay? So, first of all, I've got some organic sour cream. You ask, how much are we going to use? Okay, well, I'm going to actually measure something for you guys for a change. We're going to do about half a cup of sour cream. What do you say? There we go. Look at there. I actually measured something. I never do that. But I'll do it for you guys. So there we go. That's our sour cream in our bowl. Next up, veganese, one of my favorite things. And I'm going to go with about a quarter cup of veganese. I got a brand new jar of my veganese. Actually, I got a spoon over here. It'll be a little bit easier just to spoon it out. So 2 big old heaping tablespoons of veganese. Next up, we're going to add a little milk. Okay, how much milk you say? Let's go with a quarter cup. Okay, so a quarter cup of milk. Put that in there. Very nice. Next up, a little salt and pepper. Just several cranks, a little pepper in here, okay? And I'm going to add a little more salt. Or I'm just now adding the salt. Oh, I need to get my little whisker. Always want to have a nice little whisker. And I've got my little miniature one here that I like. Next up, okay, I like a little kick with my squash casserole. Green chilies. We're going to dump those in there. All right. Now, giving this a nice stir. This is our concoction, if you will. There we go. It's got a nice smooth consistency to it. See there? Now, our squash and onions have been steaming over here, and they are nice and soft now. Hey, how do you like the steamer that I made? I just took a strainer basket, stuck it down in my pan, put some water in the bottom of the pan, put a lid on top, and bingo bango, you've got steamed squash and spinach. Now we're going to add this to our concoction over here. Now I'm not going to add it all because you know what else I'm going to do? Set that there. I've got some cheese. I've got about a whole cup of grated cheese. I grated it myself to save money. Remember we've talked about that. So we're adding that in with our squash and onions. I put the cheese in there. Next, I'm going to add the rest of my squash and onions on top of the cheese I put in there. Now, you're probably saying, well, why did you do that? Well, because it'll get melty, because this is hot. And the other stuff in there was cold. Be careful and don't dump the water in. You don't want to make it too liquidy. All right, let's add the rest of our cheese. This is such a simple dish. Now, this is coming together really nice. The cheese is melting with the rest of our stuff in here. Next up, I'm going to add a little more salt and pepper, all right? Just maybe, I don't know, just several cranks till I can see a good coating of black pepper. And that, a little bit of salt, And you know what else I'm going to add? I'm going to add a little garlic powder. I think I've got some, and I do. Just a little, just a few shakes. Nice. And you know me, I can't cook anything without some smoked paprika. I'm telling you, if you guys are not using smoked paprika in your dishes, you're missing out. A little of that in there. Beautiful. Now, we're going to be topping this with some crackers and melted butter. But you know what I'm going to do? I got some nice, these are like, how would you describe these crackers? I got them at Trader Joe's. They're kind of a knockoff of Sociables, kind of like a Ritz cracker. There they are. Just going to take some of these and I'm going to just crush them up in our little concoction that we have here, our mixture, if you will. I like the word concoction. That sounds fancy, doesn't it? Not really. But, okay, now we're going to put that in, and that thickens up our mixture of our cheese and our squash and our onion. Over here, I've got a lightly greased baking dish. What did I grease it with? I just used some olive oil. So we're going to pour this in there now. This is such a simple, easy, and delicious dish that we are putting together here. I'm going to spread it out nicely. Oh, this is going to be so delicious. You might be thinking, what am I going to have with this tonight? I've got a nice lamb chop that I'm going to put on the grill. I'm pretty darn excited about it. And next, we're going to take some crackers and we're going to start crushing these up. And we're going to put them all over the top of our dish here. All right, I'll show it to you in just a minute. We'll look at it. And that's just going to be a nice little crunchy goodness on top. Don't ask me how many crackers. It depends on what kind of crackers you bought too. Yeah, I got another light here I can turn on and add a little more light to the subject. Ooh, look at there. And God said, let there be light. We now have light. I'm liking the way this looks. Now, you know another way you could have done this. I've got a little grinder. I could have ground the crackers up ahead of time. Didn't think of that. If this was one of those fancy TV cooking shows, you know they would have had all ground up beautifully ahead of time. But this is working out just beautiful. Let me show it to you. Look pretty good, huh? Okay, now I've got to get my butter. About 2 tablespoons is what I did. I've got it over here in the microwave. And butter is one of those things, it'll explode in the microwave. I could have done it old school, maybe on the stove top, you know, and stir and stir and stir, but I didn't. Should have. Meantime, as soon as it gets done, we're going to drizzle it over the top. So you guys stand by. This is going to be absolutely beautiful. Hope you guys have had a good weekend. I have no idea when you're watching this. It could be Tuesday in the year 2028 and you're saying, what was that COVID-19 thing we had a few years ago? Oh, don't we all pray for that day, right? Okay, let's go over here. See if our butter has melted. I'm still here. I'm sorry if I turned my back to you. And it melted up. Now, why am I grabbing this big towel? Because it's extremely hot. I don't want to burn my fingers off. Trust me, I got some nice butter here. I'm just going to drizzle it over. I've got my tablespoon here. This is going to be so good. If it wasn't so hot in my little container, I would just pour it all over. That's okay. This looks really, really good. Okay, now I can handle it. It's not too hot. This looks just beautiful. Now, one thing I was thinking about I could do, I know you guys are sick of me in the smoked paprika. You know another thing I like about the smoked paprika? It gives a little color to the dish. Not necessarily on the flavor side if I'm just putting a little on the top. There we go. Our butter is on there. And I'm going to put a little smoked paprika, or I could have even done a little cayenne, but I've got green chilies in here, so that's going to give it a little spice. But here, we'll just put just so it doesn't look quite as boring. I mean, this is kind of a bland looking dish as far as color goes, but the flavor is fantastic. There she blows. Now we're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees. For how long? About 30 minutes. Set my timer. 30 minutes. There you go. Was that quick and easy? It certainly was. And here in just a couple of moments, we'll show you the finished product, okay? And our squash casserole has been in the oven now for 30 minutes. Gave me time to clean up the kitchen. Doesn't it look great? Timer's gone off. Let's pull it out and see how she looks. Oh, it looks good. It's bubbling. It's got that color that we added with our paprika. There it is. All done. Ready for you to eat. Now, another thing you could do if you wanted, you could put it back in the oven on the top shelf on broil for maybe just a minute or two and crisp it up a little more. Just saying. I just did it. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully you're going to enjoy your squash casserole with a little kick that we added to it with those green chilies. And as I always say, thank you so much for checking in with us. Be sure and share this video with others who you think might enjoy this recipe or some of the others. And we do appreciate you subscribing to our channel, Traveling with Jack and Pam. Remember, we've got 3 different playlists. We've got this one, which is cooking demonstrations and a few restaurant reviews. We've also got our travel channel, where we've got hiking videos, but we've also got museums. We've got things we've gone to from coast to coast. And then the third one is my grief journey and how I'm handling the loss of my beautiful bride, Pam. Maybe somebody you know has lost someone and they can benefit from that as well. Until we talk again, thanks again. And again, have a great tomorrow, okay? Bye now.